surveillance video from a California cell phone store. It shows a 4-year-old girl standing near the front entrance when someone reaches through the door, grabs one arm and yanks the girl out. You can see her mother and a customer then immediately chase after the kidnapper. The suspect was quickly caught. The child was understandably scared and upset, but not hurt.
The chaos unfolding in the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 10:08 p.m., 22,000 country music fans packed in, enjoying the Route 91 Harvest Festival. But high above them on the 32nd floor of the glittering Mandalay Bay Resort, police say 64-year-old Stephen Paddock was watching. They say he hammered through the hotel's thick windows and started firing on the crowd below.
As COVID-19 spreads across the United States, so does an alarming rise in hate crimes within Asian American communities.
Why did they do that to this car? My heart just sunk.
This car vandalized in California. The language too disturbing to show you. And the Chandy family is devastated. Anna, in tears, forced to explain to her child what the racial slurs mean.
Why are they being racist to us? We don't even have the coronavirus.
Society. It's the one thing that tries to define us and shape our existence. It tells us who to be, what to do, what to say. And if you are to go beyond those means, you're quote-unquote outcasted. I mean, all of this has never really made sense to me. I decided to sit down with some individuals and learn about what they would like to change about society and ways that we can all step up to the plate to make our world a better place.
Do you remember that song by Childish Gambino, This Is America? All these bad things happen and then suddenly we forget about them because we have this cool new dance move or this cool new app or this something happening, and we don't really see or take time to mourn or change the things that are wrong.
Look what I'm whipping up. This is America. Don't got you slipping up. Look how I'm living up. Look what I'm whipping up. Look how I'm geeking up. I'm so fitted. I'm on Gucci. I'm so pretty. Yeah. I'm gonna get it.
This attitude of can't say pretend, but if something happens, like gun shooting or something, like the first few week or like a month, they're there's so much sympathy and so much affection towards it, and then the next month they're just I don't really care about it anymore.
Terrified people pile on top of each other, sheltering behind anything they could. But they were in an open field, easy targets for the gunmen in the tower.
I don't know where to go. Oh my God.
Thousands looking for safety anywhere, even a stranger's car.
It almost feels like apathy is indicative of problems you might have later. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's hard to separate apathy from just not being able to deal with problems. You always pass it off as someone else's problems, so when things actually start going wrong in your life, you're like, someone else will fix it. It's not inherently to call you guys weak, but just sometimes I feel like you start to crumble when things get hard on you.
For us as a society, if we would better recognize these are people who are trying to move on, trying to make a difference, but I'm so concerned about my safety, and I'm so concerned about me and my preciousness, whatever it is, that we would be more willing to give people a chance, especially those people who are trying to recover from struggles that they've had in their lives. So I think as a society, we would be more forgiving of individuals, especially those individuals who the thing that they're trying to get over is much more obvious, such as a criminal record or addiction that they've been dealing with, so now they're trying to fight.
The drastic levels of inequality which are represented almost every country in the world.
Grace. One expanse of 50 city blocks is an area that's become synonymous with poverty, crime, and homelessness. It's existed for decades and has dogged successive mayoral administrations that have tried to eradicate it. It's called Skid Row, and is home to an estimated 2,000 members of Los Angeles County's homeless community.
LA has one of the highest rents in the nation. And the reason why there's so many tents out here is because people can't afford to live in a house. The majority of the people that you see sleeping on the streets are black, and these are folks that have fell through the poverty level. It makes me really mad.
Sometimes I have like ideas, but then the people who try to discourage me from bringing those ideas, like I wouldn't urge like people. I wouldn't really urge people to listen to such people. I mean, they could be right, but then sometimes they don't even hear that idea you're about to bring, and they're like, no, mine is better.
The hate and like the hurtfulness that people have.
Racism. Racism.
Racism. In Denver, Colorado, the protests here, like other places, are often loud. Other times, quietly solemn. And still going strong, 3 weeks after George Floyd's death at the knee of that Minneapolis police officer. Across the country, tens of thousands have taken to the streets from LA to New York, Atlanta to Portland.
No justice! Explained to like my friends that asked about it, I was like, it was completely peaceful, but that fear that you're feeling, that you felt for the last day, is how the black community feels daily. I've always been taught, honestly, this town taught me to stand up for who you are, what you believe, and I want the community that I grew up in to understand these things. I feel like if nobody else is gonna do it, like, I have to do it.
It's bad. It's 2018. We shouldn't have racism anymore. Because if you get arrested, the cops will start beating you for no reason because you're black. Or because they're afraid you're gonna shoot them with a gun. Even though there are many officers beating up one black person and climbing on top of their heads and smashing their blue bottles and smashing them with their phones. Which is very disrespectful.
How like girls are treated. To grow up being cautious.
You can't laugh as loud as boys in the bus. You can't, be uncouth like boys in the bus.
As girls, we've always been told that this is something you have to do. You have to, obey certain rules and travel in a certain way.
And activities which would feel safe in many countries are still anything but.
I'm actually feeling unsafe in late at night and going to watch a film somewhere. I would never do that. I can't dream of doing that.
So we can't even go out alone because there's this danger that we're gonna get kidnapped or raped or anything, which is really bad because we should have freedom too, but men's have, and some men go no, why are girls doing this? They should wear they're wearing short clothes. No, they need to cover their body. No, we don't need to cover our body. We can live how we want to live. You just have to have a good intention and not hurt anyone.
I'm controlled because I feel like everyone's just gotten so used to it, and it's really sad.
Society be more compassionate. If you try to define the word compassion, it's entering to someone's suffering and then responding and acting upon it. And so I think right now there's a lot of things going on around social justice, which is good. But I think the word compassion, it takes it a step further. It not only sees a great need, but it really enters into it. It enters into a person's suffering, and then when doing that, responds in a way that not only helps them, but provides them with hope.
Trying to change society at large, I think it's almost impossible. You start by changing, the people around you to get them to understand that, you know, we are all humans, we all have a common world to live in. So if they try to make the world a better place in one way or the other, it will help.
If you like open people's minds to like that everybody was created the same, then there wasn't a specific race that was meant to overpower all the other races, that he would created every man equal, and he wanted us to basically be in harmony. God wanted us to be in harmony. He didn't really want us to say, oh, this race is more superior, so you have to follow what they say, or this race has more privileges because of the color of their skin.
My personal life, I feel like, you know, every time you get out into the world, you have the opportunity to exchange ideas with people, to exchange information with people, and to really just spread a positive vibe, attitude with your interactions. So each and every day I try to remain humble and stick to the idea of trying to make the world a better place just in my actions.
I think teachers have a very wonderful opportunity to help change this, because we can teach empathy, we can teach things that are wrong, and we can teach students how to feel and to experience and empathize, because otherwise we see something happen and we brush it off. But if we try to understand the feelings, the emotions, and the process of forgetting and grieving, then I think that's when we really start.
I think I would like to see people a little more concerned about one another.
Teaching history and government and psychology and all that feels like that's kind of the root problem of most all causes conflict. The reason people don't get along, they don't understand, they don't care to understand. I think that's pretty simple. That's what I would change. And I think that would solve a lot of other problems, starting there.
So this attitude of not caring about something that has to change. Like if you don't care about it, don't show anything at all. But if you are like devoted to something, I think you should keep that devotion.
Sorry. Oh, alright. Can we sing? Said we could sing. I'll do it. Don't worry about a thing. You know this song. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
Nasema usijali chochote.
Don't worry. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning. Smile with the rising sun. Feeling the birds. Before my doorstep.